We were told that Disney World would increase the prices of their lightning lanes depending on how many people were attending the parks. The more people who were there, the more people who wanted to skip the lines, the more the fine would be to do so. But folks are not feeling fine anymore, for it turns out that even as audiences are crashing, attendance is slashing at the parks, they're increasing, boosting, buffing the amount you'll pay for riding those rides. Folks, it's time to expose Disney in a way you just can't miss. Hello, howdy, how are you? And welcome back to the Pro Channel, where we give you insight into the way theme parks work in a way that you simply cannot find almost anywhere else. Today we're explaining how you just might be ripped off if you decide to rush in and buy lightning lane passes. Turns out that they're breaking records in terms of how expensive they are, and somehow, some way, they're breaking records in terms of how little you might gain. Folks, if you're going to Disney World anytime soon, or even Universal Studios, this is sort of the video that you just cannot miss. You got to see it to understand and to help your dollars go farther. As we get ready to dive in with a panel who understands the theme parks, all we ask is click that like button, and here we go. All Disney World Lightning Lane multi-pass prices to reach new highs this week. And remember, this was supposed to be all based on attendance. Well, get ready. We'll show you it might not be. Lightning Lane multi-pass prices will hit new highs at 2 of the 4 Walt Disney World theme parks this week. Here's what it says. If you want to take advantage of Lightning Lane multi-pass at either Magic Kingdom or Epcot later this week, you're going to have to pay record high prices to do so. The new records will be set on Friday, October 25th, and Saturday, October 26th, at Epcot and Magic Kingdom, respectively. At Epcot, the new record high will be $26. The previous record was $24. I don't know what you get to skip with that. There aren't rides at Epcot anymore, which is what the price will drop back down to on Saturday, October 26th. Meanwhile, Magic Kingdom always has the most expensive Lightning Lane multi-pass prices. The previous high for that service was $32. That record high will increase to $35 on October 26th. This will also be the price on November 1st and 10th. The price is still lower than the Disney Genie Plus record high of $39, but the price increases don't stop this week. Next week, Disney's Hollywood Studios will set a new record when Lightning Lane multi-pass prices hit $32. The previous was $29. Now, again, this is all supposed to be based on attendance. There's just one problem for Disney. If we go back to our old friend, ThrillData.com, what do we find out? Well, folks, take a look at what we have. We'll scroll on down. This is wait times. Wait times correlate to attendance, we believe. And you can see that it has been dropping the entire year. And that little gray line really helps us. If we do it by week, you can see it's weak, it's dropping. If we do it by month, you can see it's dropping. A little boost here in October, not much, still underperforming August. And if you know anything about park attendance, underperforming August when all the kiddos go back to school, that's bad with a capital B. And if you take a look at the yearly measurements, you'll see that right now 2024 is coming in outside of the pandemic years as the least attended time since 2016. So despite the fact that attendance is crashing, which we were told that was the barometer by which they would determine those prices, record highs, record low attendance, record high lightning lanes, and you get less for the lightning lanes when there's less people in the parks because there's no reason to skip lines that don't exist. Marvin, help us understand what the heck is going on at the happiest, most magical, greediest place on earth.
Well, essentially, you're being charged a premium. They're trying to make it so that the experience can be as inconvenient and terrible for everyday Joes and Janes as humanly possible, so that they will have to, fork over all the cash when you're basically going to be going to Disney now is like buying 2 vacations from maybe like even 3 years ago. It's like buying the vacation that you're on plus another value resort on top of that. It's absolutely insane the way they're nickel and diming people, the way they're price gouging people. I mean, and I was just there over the weekend, stayed at the Port Orleans Riverside Resort, and I was just like, man, there's nothing new and exciting here, and everything that you um I'm trying to figure out how to put into words what I'm trying to say. Like, the experience is reserved for the fabulously wealthy now. Everything is out of reach of the average middle class family, which is what Walt Disney World used to be for. It used to be for everybody. It's not anymore. And this Lightning Lane Premium and Lightning Lane Multipass, all of that is just proof positive that they no longer care about the experience.
Erica, are you inclined to buy all of these extras, these DLCs that Disney offers, or do you think the whole thing is just driving families mad?
Oh, it's driving families mad, and it's not worth it. If the lines, are reasonable and you can wait in a standby, just wait in the standby. Lorena and I were just talking about this on Saturday on her stream, and we did a breakdown of the costs. And we were advising people, you're better off just staying off property, eating off property. I mean, there are still ways to mitigate, but it's still running expensive, and it's cheaper to come to Europe and you get a better experience. You're seeing the real culture, the real deal, the real food and wine. You're getting more for your money.
You can absolutely have a European vacation and visit many of the countries that are represented in World Showcase, maybe for much less than you would pay to just go to Disney, which is insane.
And a passport is much easier to get than a annual pass.
Well, it's less expensive, or
that's for
similar. Sure. Yeah, but like you said, I'm with you, and I have to ask you, Erica, because in talking with Lorena, what did you find the wait times were? I mean, what would be a break even for somebody to even justify a Lightning Lane? Do you think?
I mean, for us, if the waits are like well over an hour, like 75, 80 plus minutes, maybe, but it depends on the attraction, how many attractions are in that wait category. Once upon a time, the waits were just redonkulous on a lot of the attractions, and you could justify paying into some kind of like, Genie Plus. But honestly, even when we did purchase Genie Plus, the one time that we did, I found out it wasn't even all that worth it.
Yeah. And that's
Culture on that Park Place. We just did an article based on a study that was recently done in the Disney parks, where we found they were inflating the wait times. Yeah. Specifically, and we realized that the reason for that is because somebody that bought Genie Plus that day, if they look around and they see that everything is 15, 20 minutes, they're gonna be like, why did I buy this? So it's a manipulation at this point. Also,
so if you're a smart lawyer, you're like, okay, this is customer manipulation. This is anti-consumer. This is bordering on fraud. So now Disney's kind of over the barrel, because they want to have this. You have to buy a ticket once you've bought a ticket, and at Disneyland, those are up at $200 now, Pro, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh yeah.
So if you have to now buy another ticket on top of whatever your ticket costs just so that you can get onto a ride, then because your selling mechanism for that is the perceived wait time, which you are inflating, you're committing a form of fraud, right? Isn't that consumer fraud? I don't know. But I think a pretty wise attorney should be attacking it from that side, because if they are misleading guests, then that this will be faster for them, and it really isn't. Or if you're creating artificial scarcity, which Disney actually did with the secondary implementation of the Fast Pass. Because guess what? I mean, if you have an Omni-Mover attraction, do you know what you don't need? A Fast Pass.
Well, I've called for Florida to do some legislating, perhaps. I think there needs to be oversight on these posted wait times, because I just don't see how it should be a legal possibility for you to offer a service in which you are the one gauging how much someone might presume to be saving in terms of time. And then at the same time, you have a disclaimer at the bottom that says, don't take any of our times for cereal. Don't take them for cereal, baby.
But just spend the money. Aren't connecting those dots. They're not, the average person doesn't reason and think that way. Like, honestly, I hadn't even put that together until Culture just mentioned it. Like, oh,
Yeah,
And
well,
now that it's kind of out there, I'm kind of hoping Disney runs up.
Right. An
I hope it
omni-mover
bites them in
means
the
that the
butt
line
now.
never stops.
well,
That's what it
attraction.
means.
Yeah, see, in an attraction management used to actually have little lanyards that they put on everybody. This is all the way back to
Do
Legacy.
they not have the lanyards anymore? They
I
don't time
I
it?
haven't seen any.
Last time I witnessed that was many years ago. I have
Yeah,
not been in a
it's-
line
I
and
haven't seen it
I'm
since the
actually
pandemic.
tap in on a lanyard.
I go all
for
the
a wait
time, and I have not encountered one of those in years either. I did get one at Universal recently at Halloween Horror Nights multiple times. So Universal's still doing it, but Disney is not.
I always thought it was fun to get the lanyard and then tell people to go ahead in front of you. You're waiting on your party. Really mess with the system. I would never do that. I would never do that. And I can joke about it now because they're not doing it anymore. Folks,
I used to joke that I was the chosen one.
well, you always are and were. Folks, we would
I will
love
carry
to
it.
continue. Yes, you'll carry it. You'll to Mount Doom.
Yes.
Folks, we would love to continue the pro show for
actually,
as long as we possibly
I'd like
could.
to chime in on this if I could.
No, Jonas,
Yes,
you're not
go.
allowed in. You're done for. What do you want, Jonas? What do you say?
If you wanted to go to Universal Studios and or Islands of Adventure or Volcano Bay for 4 days plus 1 day at Epic Universe, it would cost $586. So, that's not bad.
Jonas, I started to put this up on the screen. I can see what Jonas is doing on his computer, and I could see you doing this. And I thought about putting it up on the screen. I was worried, though, that you were legitimately trying to get tickets to Universal Studios and Epic Universe, and I was going to reveal that you were absent-mindedly doing multitasking. So I'm glad to know that you were on task the whole time.
I was. There's only so much we can say when the Disney company has found new levels of greed. Because if they had done the changes that they're making to Lightning Lane and got rid of the other 2 tiers, then we could see the case to be made for that. And we cannot say that they're going to be getting rid of those other 2 tiers of Lightning Lane. So we can't say that they've made the right decision. And there's a case to be made that they would maybe make that right decision one day. I don't think they're going to do it. Meanwhile, Epic Universe is out here with hotel rooms that are cheaper than Art of Animation and All-Star whatevers. And they've got a hotel that you can walk that has literally a park view. You are looking out and you look straight down and you're looking into the park. You're going to be seeing the fireworks. You might even be where they're going to be projecting the projection show. And that has less than half the cost of some of Disney's deluxe resorts. I'm over here wondering how in the world Disney has allowed this to happen. We have a lot of thoughts on why that might have happened here on that park place, but I'm glad to see that they're not doing the same thing that Disney does and make it about greed, because they would rather get you in that park and get you to try to spend some of that money on whatever they're selling at that Toadstool Cafe or the Spitfire roast over at How to Train Your Dragon Land. I'm excited to spend money for Epic Universe as opposed to going, seriously, that's what I've got to pay in order to do this thing over at Disney. Think about that, Disney.
I did the math earlier today. I did like a mock at Epic Universe, and I texted Raph. I said, look, we got to make some decisions, because if we're going to do this next year, we got to start booking now. And I averaged it out $45 a park per person on the 3-day on the multi-pass. That's without Volcano Bay. And Raph was just like, are you serious? I said, yeah. And he's like, that is insanely cheap compared to Disney.
Yeah. Folks, it's time to bid you adieu, but we hope that you will help us anew. And that is, we're only asking you click that like button. Share, subscribe, click it, stick it to those algorithms. It is the notification bell, and drop a comment down below. And oh, by the way, have you gone the way of thatparkplace.com? www.thatparkplace.com. It's the website that if you're not yet bookmarked to, well, you should be. A bastion of truth and knowledge when it comes to entertainment and everything that's going on. Go check it out today, folks. We would love to have you over there as well. All right, we are getting ready to head out, but do not fret, for we will put out 4 more videos tomorrow, so long as the good Lord allows. And we believe that probably, just might, happen. All right, until the next time we get to share time with you, keep learning, keep growing, and as always, keep having fun.